Hi, welcome to our Daily Bread. I'm Father Paul Seil, and today we're going to be talking to some folks from a program called WAY, which means Work Appreciation for Youth. And it's a service of Baker Victory Services. This is a whole big, huge story. Father Nelson Baker, is a servant of God. We're all servants of God, but he's officially known as a servant of God because his cause for canonization is open in Rome. And he was one who started and embellished and built up charitable institutions, and then near the end of his life, to kind of crown his charitable efforts, what he was able to do was to build an incredible basilica in Lackawanna, New York, in honor of Our Lady of Victory. Notre Dame de Victoire in French. He went there to France, he made a visit there and saw this church and prayed there and came back to the Buffalo area, continued his ministry in Lackawanna and dedicated to Our Lady of Victory. So we've got victory services. So anyway, we've got some people from this WAY program, the program director, Sharon Kavanaugh, and one of their students, one of their success stories, and his name is James Stone. I'm going to be making some stuffed peppers as a little appetizer. And Miss Kavanaugh is going to be making some basil pesto. And then James will be finishing off with a great, very popular dessert, but I'm looking forward to getting his twist on it. That'll be tiramisu. Now, I am making, as I said, stuffed peppers as an appetizer. I'm going to use this green. This is not a hot pepper. It is a mild pepper. You can look for whatever kind of pepper you like to use. I like to use the mild, always thinking if people don't like hot, they don't have to eat it. And if they want to put some heat on it, they can later on. So what I've done, as you can probably see here, is I have scorched the outside of the peppers on an open flame. I did them actually right on top of the gas stove. So you can do that if you'd like, or you could do them on the grill if you're grilling. It's always nice to have some extra peppers. And you know, if you don't stuff them, you can always slice them up, put them in olive oil with a little garlic, let them marinate for a couple of days, and they make a wonderful little side accompaniment to fish or whatever. So we've got the pepper opened up, and now I'm going to put in a stuffing. Now stuffing is like a lot of my recipes. You throw in a little of this, a little of that. This is the one that I like today. They change from time to time, and you can put in whatever you like, obviously. What I'm putting in is I have some cooked Italian sausage, mild Italian sausage, that I cooked with some onions until the sausage was cooked through and the onions are just kind of limp and translucent, not caramelized, just limp and translucent. So I took the Italian sausage, there's a little piece of charcoal on from the pepper. I took Italian sausage with onions. I added breadcrumbs. I added egg, usually 2 eggs for about a pound of sausage, about a half a cup to a cup of breadcrumbs. Now the breadcrumbs will thicken it and make it stay together, you know, so you can put more or less in depending on the need. I put in some crushed garlic that would kind of, I don't want any bits of garlic to come forward, so I used some nice crushed garlic in there. Let's see, with the onion, I used some salt. I used some basil. I used a little bit of pepper. And I put in a lot of cheese. I grated some nice hard Italian-style cheese. This is actually an Asiago. With clean hands, which I have cleaned my hands, all right, we're going to kind of form a little, you know, like a little inside of the pepper, let's call it, okay? And I'm going to put this in, and I'm just going to roll it closed, and then it'll go into this dish here. Now, when I was a kid, we all knew of Father Baker. He died in the early 1930s, if I'm not mistaken. He actually served in the Civil War. He was a soldier, and he was a convert to Catholicism, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure if I mistake anything, I'll find out the real story in just a few minutes. But his charitable endeavors were widely known. And when I was a kid, sometimes, you know, if you get threatened by mom or dad or grandma, they'd say, we're going to take you to Father Baker's, you know, like to drop you off. A lot of people in my age group and a little older would have that memory of the threat of Father Baker's, but of course it was just a threat used to frighten us into behaving. And usually it didn't work anyway, and we knew they weren't going to really take us away. But anyway, in fact, my grandmother used to threaten to throw us out with the paper man and the rag man. You know, now do any of you remember that? You know, are you that age yet where, you know, where you go down the street, rags, papers, and if you were not being a good little boy, they'd say, we're going to throw you out with the rag man. Well, I don't know where that came from even, but to just tell you that that was also a mindless kind of empty threat. But when we were kids, we took it really seriously. But then when you grow up and learn all the wonderful things that Father Baker has done, it changes everything. And you realize that this is a man who first built the charitable institutions. He built them up. And then he built, in the honor of the Blessed Mother, this wonderful church, this basilica. All right, look, these are going to go in the oven. Everything's cooked in here. And they're going to go in the oven at about 350 degrees for 20 minutes to 30 minutes until the mozzarella cheese that I'm spreading on the top is melted and a little bit browned and bubbly. So I'm going to throw these in the oven. I've got some others coming up. We're going to be talking about the Way, the experience for youth in which we get them into working programs through Bakery Victory Services. And let's see, we're going to have this. We're going to have Basil Pesto, and we're going to have Tiramisu from one of the young men who's a success story from that program. So don't go away. We'll be back with more of Our Daily Bread right after this. Welcome back to Our Daily Bread. I'm joined in the kitchen now by Sharon Kavanaugh, who is with a program called Way, Work Appreciation for Youth. Now, in the first segment, I made some stuffed peppers, which are warming up in the oven, cooking off in the oven. And then Sharon's going to make some basil pesto. And then we're going to have one of the people from the program is going to join us, and he's going to make some tiramisu. So it's a great kind of Italian-themed show, but I really want to learn about this program called Way.
Right.
Now, you are tell me what your job is there at Baker Victory Services at Way.
Okay, I'm the program director for the Way program, which has been in existence since 2003.
What does it do?
What we do is we teach students with different disabilities, whether it's intellectual disabilities, learning disabilities, behavioral disorders, and we teach them work skills. And we actually have work sites. It's a training site. It has a professional chef and also a support person, like a job coach, that helps teach the skills to the students right
Is it
in
all
a
cooking?
restaurant. No, it's
No,
not all
because you said
cooking.
you have a chef.
Yes.
But that's for the cooking segment of the program, is that it?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
And what other programs do you do? What other training or whatever development do you do?
We also have some small marketing work sites where we do jewelry. We make jewelry. We make handmade cards, and we also put together gourmet rubs with spices, measuring different combinations and marketing them. So it's all small business.
Where do you buy this stuff? I really haven't heard of this. Is this marketed by Baker Victory Services?
It is. It is.
Where is it, in a shop or someplace or what?
We have it right on the agency property.
Well, where's the agency property? I don't even
it's
know
right
that.
At 790 Ridge Road in Lackawanna.
In Lackawanna, New York, which is Ridge Road is known. That's for those from Western New York. Ridge Road, we all know Ridge Road and Our Lady of Victory Basilica, because for those outside of the area, tell us a little bit about Father Baker, who's credited as kind of the founder of the movement to get those charitable institutions going in Lackawanna, right?
Right, exactly. What's kind of cool about this program is Father Baker started out taking students, kids, children into residential and teaching them how to be able to be self-sufficient, giving them a place to live, giving them skills so that they can go out and transition into adulthood and be able to be self-sufficient and independent. And it's kind of come full circle with this program, because that's what we're doing, is we're taking different populations of kids, youth, students, and even adults, and providing those services.
Now, in the Way program, Work Appreciation for Youth, what is the age range of those people?
Generally, it's 14 to 21. We're really helping students transition out of school into adulthood. But we also provide services for people that may have been misplaced in their jobs and they need to get back into the groove of working and skill building. And so we also do provide services for adults. So there's an array of services, but the Way program in itself is very strong with vocation and occupation, helping find out where your strengths are, what your interests are, and what you like to do. And we happen to have a very strong base with culinary skills, because we do catering throughout the Western New York area. We have
So
two
someone could
cafeterias.
call up your program and say, I want a dinner catered for something.
Absolutely.
And how, really, this is all new to me. How come
Yeah.
I don't know about
I
this?
don't know.
I should know about
Well,
this,
now you
darn it,
will
yeah.
know.
So if I called up and want to cater something, what, you send out the food, you send out the staff, you send out everything, whatever.
Everything.
You work, and is there like a manager who one talks to kind of see what we're going to come up with?
People contact me,
Uh-huh.
and I take just the logistics of numbers, location, menu, what you would like, and then I disperse it within our work sites to different mentors and job coaches and vocational specialists. So we have a whole system for it.
Now, what's your interest in cooking, really? I mean, are you a cook, or you know?
I started cooking in restaurants when I was 14.
Really?
So I really know that world. And
You were 14. That's like
14
against the
as
labor
a-
laws, isn't it?
I
Where were you
know.
living then?
Well, back then,
Yeah.
I was in Michigan, but I
Michigan,
started out as a dishwasher, worked my way into cooking, and became a cook in some local restaurants here, Old Orchard Inn in East Aurora, and then I was a server for many years. So it was just a love of mine.
Well, when did you make the transition into, human services?
I went back to school at an older age, and I became an occupational therapist. And part of occupational therapy is to help people with their roles in life, whether it is a student transitioning into adulthood, and all the things that go along with that. So obviously, working is a big part of being an adult, and that my occupational therapy background brought me into Baker Victory Services because I was running a job program through the University of Buffalo.
I see. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So
I'm
in
learning
a
all this
roundabout way.
stuff. This is
Yes.
great. Now look, you're making pesto,
I
which
am.
is a basic recipe.
Very basic.
But it's something that, you don't have to buy in a jar. You can get it, you can do it like this yourself.
Exactly.
Right?
And so what we do is we start out with fresh basil. Back in the day, we actually had a garden where the students would grow basil and different spices. Okay, so you just want to
Except we got one leaf.
I'm
We got
gonna-
a leaf stuck
I'm
up
going
there.
to add a few.
Okay. Look, while you're doing this, I want to. Oh, well, let's see what else you're going to put
Okay,
in.
I'm just going to add a little bit of
Parmesan.
Parmesan, and then we're going to add about 3 cloves of garlic.
Now,
I
you've got
have
a little
them marinated.
red. And what are you marinating? I
Red
see
pepper and
red
olive
pepper and
oil.
olive oil.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then some roasted pine nuts.
Now, how did you roast them? In the oven or on the stove top or what?
In the oven.
In the oven.
At 450 for about 7 minutes.
Okay, so we just want to give them brown to give them a little bit of a nuttier flavor.
Exactly.
Now, also, I understand, pine nuts are very expensive.
They are.
That's the one thing about pesto. They add a lot to it, though, but I hear different people use walnuts as a substitute.
We have used walnuts or even pecans.
Pecans as well, okay.
Yep. So I'm just going to add
Now,
a
you know
few
what? I
more.
got some pasta, if you don't mind. I'm going to throw
Sure.
I've got some tortellini that I'm going to throw in our boiling salted water here. I'm going to give that a stir and let that come back to a nice rolling boil.
Now you want it to be somewhat dry like this because we're going to swivel some
We're going to put some
olive oil on
Now
there.
you actually made some for Christini for toasted bread, right?
I did.
It looks
I have
beautiful
it right
back
here.
there, and I hope you don't mind me kind of taking the liberty of throwing some pasta on to add
Absolutely.
to this. This pasta, it was frozen tortellini. It cooks very, very quickly, so it's almost done. So when you're done with that, we're going to have like some of the freshest basil we could possibly have.
You just do that.
Okay.
Garnish with a leaf.
All
We're
right.
all set.
Are there any outstanding people that come to mind that, wow, that one person was what a success story?
Yes, we have many success stories, but one in particular as a student we're working with currently, his name is James. And
The one who's going to join us.
Exactly.
Great.
And his story we'll be able to find out, but he has gone through a WAY program to a job in the community and is now graduating and will be going to a culinary school.
Wow, this is just a fascinating kind of an eye-opening thing on a lot of the things that Baker Victory Services does that I was not aware of. Now, our pasta is done now. I'm going to just run this through the colander here. I think this is going to be pretty good. With your pesto and my frozen macaroni. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Okay. There we go. Why don't you put on the basil in whatever, or the pesto in whatever, the one that you just
One
made.
I just made?
Yeah,
Good.
because I think we're going to save that one for laying around with the crostini.
Okay.
And great. And you know what? While you're doing that too, I'm going to grate a little more cheese on this.
Okay.
So should we mix it up in?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's
great.
do that.
There we go. Did we get it all out of there? We did pretty well. I don't want to waste any.
I got this one little beef I'm going to save for the top.
Terrific.
There you go.
All right. Oh. See, this is so easy, isn't
nice.
it? It looks beautiful. I'm going to put a little more cheese on the top. These are cheese tortellini. And you've got your little, you have a leaf there you want to throw on the very top to kind of highlight it?
Yep.
Beautiful. Terrific. Thanks, Sharon. Hey, we're going to be back with more of our daily bread, and we're going to meet a wonderful success story from the Way program of the Baker Victory Services. James is going to join us in just a minute as we continue. Don't go away. We've got more, and we got tiramisu on our daily bread. I'm going to taste one. Is that okay?
Yes.
Welcome back to our daily bread. I'm joined now by James Stone in the kitchen, who is one of the participants in a program at Baker Victory Services called Way, which stands for Work Appreciation for Youth. Youth, right, exactly. And James, you're going to be making some tiramisu, right?
Yes.
And we start off with little stuffed peppers, and then Sharon Kavanaugh, she made some wonderful pesto sauce, very fresh, that we put over some pasta, and now we got our dessert going. Hey James, now you are a success from this program, the Way program. Tell me, how did you get involved in Baker Victory Services and this Way program?
Well, I had a rough childhood, and then I was in a lot of placements, and I finally found the Way program, and it helped me out a lot because it helped me get a forever family and a lot of stuff.
People might not be familiar with the term forever family. What does that mean?
A family that will be there for you forever, and that is there for you, that likes you. Like mine are the Stones, who adopted me when I was 16, and I've been with them since I was 16, and I'm 20 now. So,
when did you first? How old were you when you first started going to different places? I mean, institutions or programs or things like that.
I started going to placements when I was 12.
Okay. And so from that time on, you were like up for adoption as it is?
Yes.
Or? I see. So did you ever lose hope at all? It's like, gee, I'm ever going to get a forever family or what?
No, I did not.
No? How come?
Because I always had my brother there with me.
Tell me about your brother a little bit.
Well, he's a year older than me, and he's always been there for me. So.
Now, your brother, when you say your brother, you mean your natural blood brother?
Yes.
But now you also have other brothers and sisters, do you, in the Forever family, the Stones?
Yes. I have a 15-year-old brother, and I have a 3-year-old brother, and I have a 7-year-old sister.
Wow. Okay. And you live with them at this point, or?
Yes.
So how old are you now?
I am 20.
20. Now let's see. While we're talking here about you and finding out a little bit more of your story, you're putting some kind of cubed.
I am putting
pound cake.
Yes, cubed pound cake. I'm putting 4 in each.
4 in each. Okay.
Yes.
Now, how did you get interested in cooking?
I've really wanted to cook since I was like 10. And I've always wanted to do that. So I've just when I became part of the Way, I got into it even more.
Okay. Let me ask you before you do that. So we put in here how much? That's about.
That's 4 ounces.
4 ounces of cream cheese.
Yes.
And what are you going to do with that?
I'm going to beat it until it's creamy.
Okay. And what else is going to go in there?
And then I'll put the pudding mix in, and then
some pudding mix. Okay.
1.5 cups of milk.
Okay.
And then I'll put this in and fold it in.
Some like whipped topping.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see how this goes. Now, what do you hope to do in your cooking career?
I hope to be able to cook like good meals for people and become a head chef one day.
Now what's going to happen?
Now I'm going to put...
You're going to make these in separate things, although you made a beautiful...
yes.
You made this too, right?
Yes,
This kind of a trifle bowl, they call it.
Yes.
But this is the tiramisu, and it kind of looks like you layered it here.
Yes, that's what I'm about to do.
Okay, let's see how you do that. So we've got the coffee and the pound cake here, and now tell me, now we put some of that on?
Yes.
Now, you did it in the trifle bowl, you did it in layers. How are you going to do it here?
Put like more bread on there.
I see. Okay, I got it. All right. Push down a little bit?
Yep.
I got it. Okay, now you're going to put some more on top. Is that it?
Yep.
All right.
And then I'd put a little more cocoa on.
A little cocoa powder.
And then one raspberry on
And
it.
one raspberry on the top.
Yep.
Very good. Oh, well, this is fun.
Yes.
Here, let me, let's see here. Why don't we put some more in there? Okay. Is that enough? Oh, okay.
Hang on.
And then, okay.
One more sec.
Sure. Oh, you put cocoa in the middle too?
Yes.
Okay.
I forgot to
All right, I missed that. All right. Well, I, you know, you've seen my show probably many times, haven't you?
Yes.
Good answer, good answer. Okay, so then you know that I do things, I forget things all the time. Is that it?
Nope.
Oh, cocoa, right.
Yeah,
See, and it's easy to forget. Easy to forget.
And then one raspberry.
One raspberry. While you're making a few, maybe you'll make a couple more, one or two more of those, and I will get our stuffed peppers out of the oven. And maybe Sharon could come in and help a little bit with this, if you wouldn't mind, Sharon.
Sure.
Thanks so much, Sharon.
Sure.
Thanks, James. Thanks for being here and tell us a little bit of your stories. Really enlightening me on a lot of things that I didn't even know were going on. Hope you enjoyed it too as we got together again on our daily bread. I think Father Baker would be very happy that we're here together sharing a meal. We thank God for the gift of James, for the gift of Baker Victory Services, and especially the Way program, and for the great example of the saintly man who is cause for canonization is open, Father Nelson Baker, who means so much to us here, especially in Western New York. So God bless our food, God bless Father Baker, God bless all of us, and for these and more recipes, go to odbtv.org. We're always happy to hear from you, odbtv.org. Until next time, God bless you.